In today's video, we'll be talking about another major AAA IP coming from a Sony studio that's already working on another game, but that game is releasing soon, so it looks like they're prepping up their next project, and it looks to be a brand new IP as well. Insomniac has confirmed that Marvel Spider-Man is Game 1, so it's most likely a franchise with multiple games. This is what I've been speculating for quite a while, but now Insomniac has said it themselves. Another PlayStation 4 Battle Royale title is coming. This one just released on PC. It's getting a lot of hype right now. It's got a pretty unique look to it, so I'll be talking about that. Battlefield 5 is getting an open beta, and that's going live pretty soon, and it looks like Capcom might be hinting at a Resident Evil 3 remake. Of course, they are working on the Resident Evil 2 remake that is being released in January, but Resident Evil 3 is another title many are fond of, so who wouldn't want to see a remake of that? More on that in a little bit. First, let's talk about yet another major PlayStation exclusive, and it's a new AAA IP. Now, I say PlayStation exclusive and not PlayStation 4 exclusive because honestly, I can't be sure whether or not this is a PS4 title or a PS5 title, but Days Gone developer Sony Bend has a new job listing out ahead of Days Gone's 2019 release, and that's a job listing where they are looking for a senior concept artist for a brand new AAA IP. Now, it's interesting that they specifically state new AAA IP. I doubt that this would mean a sequel to Days Gone. I know Days Gone in itself is a new AAA IP, but everyone already knows about that game. I wouldn't classify that as a new AAA IP. However, in the same token, I'm kind of surprised that they are already jumping into a new IP. I figured they would let Days Gone release, see how the reception is for that, and then decide whether or not to do a sequel for that game, but of course the door is always going to be open to do another Days Gone game, and who knows if Sony Bend developed the game in mind with it being a one-shot title where it has a conclusive ending, and there's really no room to grow. However, for these zombie apocalypse titles, these games usually have a pretty deep universe that you could always do more and more with, and right now it does seem like there's some hype surrounding Days Gone, and considering that Sony Bend isn't even a studio that is known for doing their AAA projects, creating another AAA IP, that is a little bit surprising because bear in mind that Sony Bend used to do a lot of handheld titles. They did do Uncharted Golden Abyss, which you could kind of make an argument is a AAA title, but that was still just a PlayStation Vita game. Personally speaking, I'm excited for Days Gone. I'm interested to see what they could do on a bigger stage and on a bigger platform. I'm really happy that this game got pushed back into 2019. However, I wanted Days Gone to get pushed into 2019 so it had some breathing room, and now it's being released on the same day as Anthem as well as Metro Exodus. That date would be February 22nd, and just the entirety of early next year looks absolutely packed. From January, February, March, you've got game after game after game, and Days Gone is one of those major game releases that I was hoping was going to be getting away from the fall release and into early 2019 just so it could have a lot more attention. I still think the game will do fairly well, and if it's as good as other PS4 exclusives, it won't have a problem, but at the same time, it looks like Sony Bend is looking ahead of that and already hiring for a new game. What could this new IP be? It's really hard to predict with Sony, considering their new IPs always seem to be so ambitious with games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Ghost of Tsushima. These games are kind of unpredictable, but I'm hoping for the best.
Perfect. Just perfect.
Speaking of PlayStation 4 exclusive, Spider-Man has to be the most anticipated one for the rest of this year. Hard to say all of 2018 because we just had the release of God of War, but hey, for some of you, if you're a big enough Spider-Man fan, you're probably more excited for this game than you were for God of War, and what's even more exciting for you is the fact that Insomniac has confirmed that Marvel Spider-Man is Game 1. That's all they said. They didn't confirm if there's gonna be a sequel, but why would they call this game Game 1 if there isn't a sequel? They said this on one of their videos on their official YouTube channel, so most likely this game is going to be a franchise. That's why everyone that was bugging out about Venom not being in the game, other superheroes not being in the game, relax, there's gonna be more Spider-Man games in the future, and this Spider-Man game just sells itself on the novelty that this is a big budget Spider-Man game being done by Insomniac. The future Spider-Man games, where that novelty wears out a little bit, that's when you bring in Venom. That's where you bring in all of the other villains that so many people want to see, maybe another hero. Think of it from a business sense, and what Insomniac is doing is very, very strategic. And let's be honest, I think it's almost a foregone conclusion that this game is going to be incredible with or without the inclusion of Venom. Marvel Spider-Man is coming on September 7th, so we are inching closer and closer to that game's release.
I'll head for the main control center and see how bad the situation is.
Got it. I'll go join the party.
Everyone just quietly go back into your cells and lock the door behind you. Okay? Please?
Get him down here! Like fish in a barrel.
Next up, Islands of Nyne, a battle royale that has just been released on PC. It is in early access right now, and it's gaining quite a bit of attention. It is currently the top seller on Steam, and a PlayStation 4 version of the game is said to be in the works. Now, this game is still rough around the edges. Again, it is in early access, but it's got a great sci-fi look to it, and it is an incredibly fast-paced battle royale game. So I think for a more casual audience, Islands of Nyne is the type of game that would really cater to them. And even if you are deep into the Fortnite experience, I think Islands of Nyne is different enough where you'll want to jump into that as well. And now I know a lot of you guys are sick of battle royale, and with horrendous releases like The Calling 2, I can definitely see why a lot of you guys are being turned off to the genre, but there is still potential in it, and I don't think the market has been overflowed with quality battle royales yet. Really, all we still have is Fortnite, PUBG, H1Z1 is making some noise, but outside of that, there isn't much. I think by the end of this year, at that point, I think a lot of gamers are gonna be really sick of the genre, even more so than now.
Warning. Plasma field is now advancing.
Speaking of Battle Royale, one game that is going to get a Battle Royale mode at some point is Battlefield 5, and Battlefield 5 is getting an open beta to go live in early September. This was confirmed on the Battlefield website where they talked about the closed alpha. Of course, that's been running for a little bit, but they also mentioned that an open beta is set to go live in early September. Now, all they say is it's an open beta, so I don't assume that you have to pre-order the game or anything like that, that this is just going to be open for everyone, and of course, the Battle Royale component of the game is not going to be a part of the open beta. That is coming after release, so if you didn't get into the Battlefield 5 closed alpha, you will have a chance to check out the game for yourself. Open beta is going live in early September. I've said it before, but it's really funny how a beta is just a test demo of a game that's literally releasing a month later. That's not what a beta really is, but more power to DICE and more power to us being able to check out the game a month before it's released, so I can't really complain about that. And lastly, the Resident Evil Twitter account put out a tweet that has a lot of people speculating that the door might be open for a Resident Evil 3 remake. The tweet sent out, "It's Friday the 13th, we have our own relentless pursuer who just can't seem to die." Attached was a picture harkening back to Resident Evil 3, and the fact that the tweet said "who just can't seem to die," I think that's what a lot of people are taking away and saying, oh, does this mean the game is gonna get remade? Let's slow our roll for right now, but considering the Resident Evil 2 remake has so much hype surrounding it, more so than a lot of Resident Evil games in recent memory, I wouldn't put it past Capcom in remaking Resident Evil 3, especially because remaking a game, while there is a lot of work to be done rebuilding everything, you still have the foundation and the design built for that game. You just have to completely remake everything, so the development cycle is still very high, but since you have the foundation built, it is a bit easier, and I see the RE2 remake doing very well from a commercial standpoint, so I could definitely see a RE3 remake in the future as well. But let's first see how the RE2 remake turns out, and then we can start talking about an RE3 remake, but a lot of gamers right now are really hoping for it. So that is going to conclude this video. It looks like yet another major PlayStation IP is in the works, a AAA IP at that. It's going to be done by Sony Bend. Days Gone is coming on February 22nd, but considering that game is nearing completion at this point, this would be around the time where Sony Bend would be prepping up their next project. It looks like there will be more Spider-Man games, as Insomniac confirms that this is game 1, so I'm sure a game 2 and a game 3 will be coming. Islands of Nyne, a brand new Battle Royale game, was just released on PC, and a PlayStation 4 version is in the works, but I doubt we'll be seeing it for quite a while. Let's see the game first be released out of early access and make some progress in that, and then we can talk about a PS4 release. Battlefield 5 is getting an open beta. That'll be going live in early September, and maybe a Resident Evil 3 remake could be happening. Let's first wait for the RE2 remake, but an RE3 remake could be fantastic. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.